Hello everyone, I'm Lalit Chelani and today I'm going to introduce you all to our project. So our research is based on the topic that is impact on mobility during the COVID-19 outbreak. Next slide please. As we all know, the world is suffering from a pandemic since the beginning of the year 2020. From March 2020, United States has been responding to COVID-19 pandemic in unprecedented ways. The state and federal directives and decisions have not only just disrupted work and travel, but also have changed all the social practices around the United States, which resulted in drastic change in mobility patterns and behaviors. Whereas as of 27 September 2020, the number of total cases recorded all over the world have crossed 33 million mark. You can see image in the left shows that where United States stand in the numbers. Additionally, the graph from Apple Mobility Trend Report in the right depicts how mobility patterns are imbalanced after the outbreak. Different colors represent different means of transportation here, and it can be clearly seen how the trends are changing over time. Starting May and June, when the instructions given by state and federal directives were changed, but the numbers of COVID-19 cases were still growing rapidly. Next slide, please. In this project, we are hoping to predict the change in mobility patterns, taking into account the day of the week, the infection rate, civilian labor force population, and unemployment of a given city or county as independent variables, and percentage of change in navigation request and type of transportation as dependent variables. This will vary according to the research question we are focusing on. So as you can see, our research questions are as follows. I'll quickly read them for you. Given the list of independent variables, do they have an effect on the dependent variable we assumed? What's the effect size and correlation? The next one is, given the list of independent variables, can we predict which type of transportation is most likely to be requested in a navigation app? And the another one is, given the list of independent variables, can we predict the percentage of change in navigation requests? And now Khushboo will take over and talk about the state of art and how it helped us in framing our project.
Thank you, Lalit. So now I'm going to discuss few points about the state of the art. Our team combinedly read the 4 papers that you can see on the slide, where the first one majorly focused on the data-driven analysis on transportation-related behaviors during COVID-19. They found out that with the increase in coronavirus cases, there was an increase in the percentage of bicycle users as well as a decrease in terms of public transportation usage and vice versa. The second article was based on the data of the New York City, where they talked about the effects of social distancing measures and observed dramatic reduction in mobility and social contacts. Additionally, the other article studied the mobility, commuting, as well as contact patterns during the outbreak using various proxy measures such as individual mobility, co-location events, intercity travel, etc. They observed an average of 70% reduction in mobility, commuting, and contact patterns. Finally, the last article also studied about the human mobility, but the difference is they looked exclusively at the air travel and the extent of air travel during the COVID-19 outbreak. And it was concluded that there was an overall increase in number of passengers and population densities. Next slide, please. So all these 4 pieces of research served as a great motivation for us to rethink the need to track mobility in predicting the spread of COVID-19 in United States. All the articles we read use different prediction methods and factors to relate the spread of COVID-19 in different countries. Our project isn't just the direct replication of these papers. Instead, we are trying to reverse the prediction models of most of these and hope to predict the transportation type and percentage of change in navigation requests given the independent variables, as Lalit said. Now, Elizabeth will talk more about our chosen variables as well as the data sets we are using.
Thank you very much, Khushboo. We are going to be using 3 different data sets for our project. And the first data set is the Apple Maps Mobility Trends Report. And this was the data set that kind of gave us the inspiration for wanting to focus on the types of transportation and the percentage change between how many people are using those different types of transportation. We will be comparing this data set with the New York Times COVID-19 data set and the Bureau of Labor Statistics Local Area Unemployment Statistics report. Please go to the next slide. Thank you. So the Apple Mobility data set has a number of our independent variables found within it. There are the day of the week, the daily percentage change of transportation type, the type of transportation, and the county and state in which that data has been gathered. Now, as was previously stated, the daily percentage of transportation type and the type of transportation itself will vary depending on what question we're asked as to whether these are independent variables or the dependent variables we are trying to predict. In the New York Times COVID-19 data set, they have the day of the week, the number of cases of COVID-19 infections per day, and the county and state in which that data was recorded. In the last unemployment data set, there's the information that includes the total population of the civilian labor force, monthly unemployment rates, and the county and state in which those were, if that information was drawn from. All right, Yonghao is going to talk about how this data was cleaned.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. For data cleaning, we have 3 data sets with different levels of usability. The COVID-19 data set from New York Times is good for directly using, so we didn't do actual cleaning. For the Apple Mobility data set, firstly, we removed all the records which are not in the United States or without all 3 types of transportation. Then we adjusted the format of dataset and made it a third normal form table for later steps. And we added the day of week as a new attribute. For the unemployment dataset, we eliminated data from before 2020 and compiled 2 of the original separate datasets. And here's a demo of the data before and after cleaning. For the iPhone Mobility dataset, we can see in the row dataset, each row records 1 city, 1 transport type, and its percentage in sequential dates. After cleaning, date and week of day are new attributes. For the unemployment dataset, we removed the userlist data, which are before 2020, and kept the original data format. So this is the milestone presentation for Team 1. We're expecting your suggestions, comments, and questions. Thank you.